Chicks on your APs, looking like weeds. Haven't seen.
Drake's federal defamation suit against the Universal Music Group has been thrown out of court. TMZ reports. Let's click on the story, man. Shout out my brother Phil Lewis, man, for the story. Here we go. TMZ Hip Hop. Drake defamation lawsuit dismissed from the TMZ staff. Here we go. Drake took a big legal loss against his own record label because the federal defamation suit against Universal Music Group has been thrown out of court. According to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, the judge ruled, quote unquote, the allegedly defamatory statements in Not Like Us are a non-actionable opinion. In other words, Drake can't sue for defamation over the song lyrics. As you know, Drake was suing UMG for releasing and promoting Kendrick Lamar's Vicious diss track. Drake claimed UMG knew full well Kendrick's lyrics and images in the music video, referring to Drake's as a supposed PDF file, were false and dangerous. In the dismissing lawsuit, the judge says, quote unquote, even accusations of criminal behavior are not actionable if, understood in context, they are opinion rather than fact. Translations, the fact that allegations are a part of a diss track and not a news report means the average person could interpret it as a fact and therefore Drake can't sue. The judge also says the average listener is not under the impression it's a diss track. It's the product of a thoughtful or disinterested investigation. The court also noted that Kendrick's PDF line was a direct callback to Drake's lyrics in his previous diss track, Tailor Made Freestyle. Oh, dang. So they used the deleted track against him? A spokesperson for Universal Music Group tells TMZ, quote unquote, from outset, this suit was a affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. We're pleased with the court's dismissals and look forward to continuing the work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. We reached out to Drake, so far, no word back. All right. So there it is. That's the story. Mo, initial reaction.
I was like, dang. My thing was, I guess I was curious if for her to say all this, how did it get this far? Because like, did they, and I don't know, had they switched judges at any point? Like,
that I'm not sure of.
Because if it's been the same judge the entire time, how did it get this far where it's like, we'll allow discovery, we'll allow this, we'll allow that. It keeps moving forward, just for you to ultimately be like, so look, the words in the track, you know, everybody knows this false. I mean, everybody knows it as opinion. It's not fact. So just, we're going to dismiss it. And it's like, you could have been dismissed it, you know? So that, I don't know. I would say it's an interesting thing that it happened this far into the case, especially with those comments that she made, because the comments that she made is something that it was the basis of the whole thing from the beginning. You know, it was just like, you could have just dismissed this last year when he filed it, when you first saw it, because it's like, and UMG did multiple motions for dismissal. So I don't know. That's why I was like, I'm curious why it happened now instead of later. And I'm not even on those conspiracy. I'm just genuinely curious of like, why did you let it get this far? Just for the reason for dismissal to be is like, I mean, like, nobody saw it as fact. So, and it's like, well, I mean, shoot, you knew what this man was suing for. It's like, y'all could have said it wasn't fact back in like February, you know? So,
but I mean, I think they just took on like it just started, right? If am I not mistaken, like in the last couple of weeks, like it just started in the last couple of weeks, like where they decided they're going to take on this lawsuit and it was going to continue in court, right?
No, it's been like, I would say over for months, because they allowed, as I said, UMG has tried to get this dismissed all year, and they were looking at times to have and then Drake like filed for like, you know, more and more discovery, and the judge granted like, okay, we'll allow more discovery to come in, this, that, and the other. And so that's why I'm like confused. I don't fully know the full ins and outs of everything. So, you know, I could be wrong about something, but as I said, from what I've seen, they've looked to get this dismissed all year. And the judge had granted it to continue to move forward, like step by step, and then just to be like, I mean, the words, like it's just opinion. So I mean, he can't sue for just opinion, and it's like, well, then why have him? Because remember when they granted him the right to look into the records to see like Kendrick's contract and all that? It's
Yeah.
like none of that still has to do with the fact of like I don't know exactly what Drake was looking for, just to be honest, I don't. But I will say, just in the sense of like, as a judge, why would you grant that motion for them to be able to get all that information for you just to be like, in the end, it's like the thing from the beginning. Like, you didn't need for them to get all that discovery for you just to be like, what's said in the song is an opinion, not a fact. So,
No, I definitely hear what you're saying. But I thought that it was something that it was like UNG tried to get it dismissed, and they were like, "No, we're actually gonna like look at this." And then they looked at it. It just started, and then they're like, "Okay." After looking at both sides, like, I'm gonna throw this out because you know the PDF line and stuff like that, and that claim is a direct response of what Drake said earlier in the battle, which was crazy that they used Drake's own stuff against him in court. But I guess that's the way that you win. Hold on, give me a second. Take off this hoodie. It's hot. Oh, give me a second. Ouch. All right. Yeah. So that's what I saw from it. It was just like it just looked like it was going on, and then that's what they decided, man. That's what they decided. So uh a tough break, tough blow. That's how I go. I do think Drake's team, they like if they have any type of like pride or anything, they might try to appeal it and keep pushing or whatever. Um, I've heard some other people say that he's trying these cases in like different states. Like there's one in like New York and then one in like Texas. I'm not sure about all of those ins and outs because I'm just not. I just wasn't following that deep. I just saw it on the surface level and heard a lot of the surface level arguments about like, no, he's doing this for labels and artists and smaller artists, and he's fighting for freedoms and things of that sort. And then we saw the lawsuit, and it was like specifically talking about lyrics within Not Like Us, and I was like, oh, this is just what we thought it was. He's upset about Not Like Us and it getting the machine behind it that his diss songs weren't getting to make it look like he won the diss battle to put him down for the sake of his own personal one-on-one negotiation with UMG, and not for the greater good of smaller artists signed to UMG. But yeah.
nah, yeah. Also, that's another part I was confused about because essentially the original case seemed as if, from what I remember reading, was that he was suing because he felt like they perpetuated the song to go against him in an illegal fashion, where they use bots and all the different stuff to pretty much perpetuate this this view of him so that it will lessen the money that he will make. But then when this comes out, it's just like he was suing saying that like the song was just defamation. So I don't know. It's interesting. As I said, like the way it was because if I would have known just a suing to say it was just him suing for the fact that he felt like it was the song was only defamation, then it's like, all right, my boy, like it's a diss track, But when how it was originally brought up by a lot of platforms was that it was a suit against the label to say that y'all use this song to weaken me so that y'all can lessen the amount of money that I make,
For his negotiations.
Exactly, So as I said, like the whole thing with it today, it like seeing it, it's I don't know, it's interesting, I'm like the whole situation seems I don't know, it's like not what I thought it was, like in comparison to what how it was portrayed. I feel like for months, but hey, it happens, man. But I feel him, with the fact of him feeling like, I get that it is like it's a matter of opinion, not a fact, and it's like, I guess he was really feeling like, because it did, to be honest, it did hurt his reputation to a point where people really did think like, oh, he's a pedophile. Like, I'll never forget, or just, a lot of stuff that he said in the song that, and a lot of those diss tracks that people took it fact, as opposed to just like, this is Kendrick's opinion on it, but I'll never forget, my sister had texted me. It was just like, yeah, like thinking that Drake really like was doing some crazy stuff at his house, and it'd be crazy if they raid his house, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, and I remember when she texted me that, like, it's your family, so you don't want to be like, bro, like what? But I'm thinking like, fam, like it's not all that going on,
I
like,
want to go a little bit off course here,
okay.
course here for a second, and then we can go back on this. How do you feel about like just the public and outward kind of lusting that we see after Samaya right now, the streamer? For those of you who don't know, Samaya is a streamer. She's 19 years old, but it's kind of like a thing where like she has an armful. I gotta do this little preset. She's got an armful, a sleeve full of tattoos, and she kind of dresses like an older woman, and her makeup is done like an older woman. Like she's well into her 20s, but she's 19. And this streamer Mel, Mel streamer, he went through our DMs one time, and he's like, "Yo, you got a whole football team in here. You got like a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a kicker." And she's like, it doesn't matter to me because I don't watch football. I don't know who any of these guys are. And, she's been rumored to date like No Cap and a couple other rappers. She's 19 years old, and kind of like the public like lusting after her has become like normalized. In the wake of everybody making fun of Drake and pointing at Drake for liking younger women, how do you feel about the entire way of like Samaya right now, the entire Samaya wave on social media?
I don't know. I mean, I will say, I don't know. It's interesting because I think realistically, there's been a lot of women, especially when women are in a limelight like that people generally do lust over that are older and that they find attractive and everything. And her being 19, a lot of people ain't gonna see no problem with that. So I think, I don't know. I think she gets a lot of flack, but I guess I'll be honest, I don't really see nothing like crazy wrong with, I don't know. It depends on how old you are and you trying to get at her, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of the guys are in their 20s and whatnot, but it's, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Cause I feel like people say they care. Actually, I'll say this. I feel like people say they care, especially when it came to like the situation with Drake. And that, I think a lot of people felt like, because, as I say, I'll stand by. I think a lot of people just wanted to see Drake lose. They wanted to see Drake like take a step down. They like wanted to see him come off his pedestal. So a lot of the stuff that they felt with Drake, they will overlook for a lot of other people. But it was like with him, they felt like they got to stand 10 toes. And I feel like it did shift the culture a little bit, where a lot of people, it's like now you're looking at like, I don't think you should be, if you're at this age, you shouldn't be talking to girls this age and this and the other, even though she's legal and all this other stuff, it's still wrong. And but then I think at the end of the day, a lot of people, that's not really how they feel. I think if given opportunity, a lot of like Samaya's a beautiful girl. A lot of men, if given opportunity, that are going to sit here and talk about like, oh, you shouldn't be talking to girls that are like 21. Like with Drake, they're always talking about how like, yeah, he's talking to girls that are 21, 22, X, Y, and Z. If Samaya came across their way, they're going to shoot a shot. If Samaya said that they liked her, like they're going, like them, they're going to like lean into it. So yes, I don't know. I feel like it is interesting. I think a lot of people, they they say online that they feel some type of way about it, and like, oh, she's 19, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't think people really stand on that.
I just think it's nasty work because it's like for the past year, we done electric slid, we done crit wall, we done threw stuff on the grill and everything like that. And like you said, it was a culture shift. It was all of a sudden, it's no longer 18, it's no longer 21. It's literally like based off your age. If you above the age of 25, you have no business dealing with the 18-year-old. That's what it was ever since this not like us thing. So I'm like, okay, if that's the new standard, that's the new standard. Then we need to stand on that. But as soon as Samaya come by, and we see it's a couple people that say, bro, she's 19, gang. You see a couple of that, but for the most part, they're normalizing the sexualization of this teenager, and it's like, oh, I thought we said teenagers weren't cool if you were over the age of 25. I thought that was the new rules. I thought that was the post not like us rules. But apparently, that's just if the girl don't look good enough to you. If she look good enough, oh man, Samaya fine. If she just, oh wait, hold on now. What is we doing? I thought we just said they not like us. A minor. We was all seen at the Super Bowl. I was there. We was all in our living room talking about A minor. We laughing, dancing. That's all I'm saying. It's like I've been on Kendrick's side the whole time of the battle. You know what I'm saying? And I like Family Matters. Family Matters is a great song. And I thought Taylor made freestyle, even though everybody on Kendrick's side said, oh, it is the worst thing in the history of people and so disrespectful to Tupac Estate. Rest in peace, Tupac. Rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. 100% for sure. It was funny to me. First time I heard it, I can't act like I didn't laugh the first time I heard it. Taylor Swift freestyle was funny to me first time I heard it. Taylor made freestyle was funny. And I think Family Matters is a good song. It's just Meet the Graham stomped on it 10 minutes later, and then Not Like Us became the biggest song. Like that, that's how I saw the battle. That's just how I saw the battle. And ever since the battle, I stood firm in that. Me and Mo have gone back darn near every episode since we came back with the 1 AM podcast about this. Me on Dot's side, him on Drake's side. So it's like me being on Dot's side the whole time, right? Post battle. And seeing this, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking everybody on our side is on our side. No, y'all on our side conditionally, because like you said, Mo, you just wanted to see Drake go down. Me personally, I like the music that Kendrick was putting out more than what Drake was putting out in the battle. That's why I was taking Dot's side. I felt like I had a fair. Would you agree with that, Mo? After hearing me break it down now, I had a fair assessment of the thing, even though, like you say, okay, I've had my past comments about Drake before the battle. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, that was the case. However, in the battle, I felt like I looked at it. Okay, Drake did this. I like push-ups, especially the one that leaked before the real one came out. I like push-ups. I like the way he was coming back at him. Because I said Drake always got, Meek Mill to fall back on, bro. Like that Meek Mill, you got to throw some respect on Drake when it comes to this battles, dissing tracks, and everything like that. I had respect for Drake in that lane. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was going to be a fair fight because it's like Kendrick can rap better than Drake, 100%. But Drake, he just know a way to work the internet with the memes and the social media, and he punchy, and he can get the catchy club hit while he dissing you. And that's how he beat Meek. Meek came with the facts. Oh, you got peed on by T.I. in the movie theater, this and that. Ain't nobody paying attention. They laugh. Oh, is that a world tour or your girls tour? So I'm saying, dang, Drake coming like this with the push-ups? Oh, man, here we go. And then he come back. He say, nah, Kenny, don't go in hiding and don't drop an album for 5 years again now. Don't do that. You came out throwing shots first. Let's dance. I said, oh, man, we talking now. Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. They go back and forth. They spar. I think Kendrick comes out on top, but not like us. That's my opinion. I'm standing on the Dot side. And this is what we say. Yo, if you messing with so-and-so girls and you so-and-so old, you this and that. And I'm thinking we playing by those rules. because that's the rules that we established after the battle. Cool. Don't switch up, you know what I'm saying, and go back to your old ways just because y'all might have forgotten and y'all might think other people forgot. I didn't forget. I'm doing this for like, yes, these are my morals. These are my rules. These are my standards. And y'all not living by that. So I'm looking at some of y'all like, what we doing? That's it. That's my little rant.
No, and I feel that, bro. That
Yeah, audio went out.
it will.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
It's back. It's back.
Yeah. No, and I agree. That's why, like, with this whole beef, I think that's why, like, people who are Drake fans, you know, you feel it's hard because I definitely feel like Kendrick won. I'm not gonna be no delusional fan to be like, nah, Drake, you know, blah blah blah. But I do definitely feel like because even I'll say I'll appreciate good music when I hear it. Like when I've heard Not Like Us, I was like, oh, bro, buddy got it. You know, and I was at some functions last year dancing to Not Like Us too. You feel me? It's like I ain't that deep in the game where I'm just like the song come on, I'm just sitting there, nah. Like I don't know this man personally. You feel me? But I will say one thing that irritated me was it's like y'all, a lot of people who it wasn't really because I feel like it was just they wanted to see him lose as opposed to it wasn't really a fair assessment at times.
You didn't want a good battle. You just wanted to see Drake lose.
Exactly. You know, and that's where it was at times where I'm like, y'all don't really care about this stuff. Y'all making it seem like oh yeah, he be with the 21-year-olds, he be with blah blah. And I'm like, I'm looking like especially like Future. I'm like literally in the album, bro. He talked about he only like I'll never forget in the midst of everything going on. I'm listening to We Don't Trust You, and he has a line in there that said, I don't want that, I don't want none of that old stuff. I want a young chick. I'm talking 24 or younger, something like that. Like he literally has a line saying that, bro. And I'm like,
and Future older than Drake.
bruh, and exactly. And you know, and Future was at that time, everybody still love him. You know, I rock with Future. So it's not like I don't feel no type of way towards him with that. But I'm just saying, you know, I like y'all were moving the goalposts because y'all just wanted to see Drake go down as opposed to being like, this is stuff that we really stand on. And I think as time goes on, it's like it left people in a very uncomfortable position because I feel like, man, they didn't really care about like there's a lot of dudes who are our age that you see a 21-year-old, you gonna shoot. You feel me? And you younger than Drake. And it's like you're gonna feel like, or you gonna see a Samaya that's 19 and you still gonna shoot, bro. Like, let's just keep it a buck. But you know, so I do agree with you. It is disheartening to see that, you know, a lot of people aren't really standing on what they said last year. But I mean, everybody just wanted to enjoy the moment, bro. I think it, you know, and I appreciate Kendrick for that. Like he did genuinely give the culture a moment, you know. But yeah,
Like I said, bro, like at the end of the day, bro, like I really care about this, bro. And it's a lot of people that I know that are like me that really care about this. So it's just like I'm not from the West Coast. Like I didn't have no, oh, we following Kendrick Dot regardless. No, that was not me. Like I was not like, shout out Gina View, shout out DJ Head, both friends of the channel. I was not like them, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what happened, I was gonna be West. Like that was not about to be me. I'm from Atlanta. Like we from Marietta. We just did a whole 40-minute segment about it. So it's like I cared about the music. I cared about the raps, the bars, the delivery of it, the packaging of it, the delivery on social media. I cared about all of that. And still to this day, 2 years after the fact, I still just care about the bars and everything like that. Like that was the biggest weekend in the history of hip hop. That was the greatest moment in hip hop history ever. Biggie and Tupac, them jokers was responding to each other 6 months now, 6 months from each other. And then both of them jokers died. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody died. I mean, Drake didn't die, Kendrick didn't die, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Like it stayed with the music and Kendrick got bigger from it. And Drake, Drake got his stuff off from it as well. You know what I mean? He didn't really benefit as much from it, you know what I'm saying? Obviously. But like, Drake got to move on or whatever with his life and stuff like that and still be Drake. Like he's still Drake. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. Like, I'm in it for the music and the people that was in it for the drama, bro. Like, I ain't with that. And like time is like exposing it. And I know it's always been like that, but dang, man, like for the sake of the art, bro, like it was a beautiful moment for hip hop and for people just to dilute it down to like some shade room stuff of like, oh, you never really cared, you just wanted the tea. Like, in the words of Dame Dash, that's not man like.
And I think, that's why I say, as for me personally, that's one thing that I felt throughout the whole thing that just irritated me about it, because I'm like, y'all don't really care about this stuff this man is saying right now. It's like everybody want to act holier than thou and that, like, they standing on all these moral, but I'm like, y'all not really standing on all that, But and then last thing I'll say, since I feel like this is kind of the conclusion of the beef, because it's like now that the lawsuit is done, it's like what more? I guess unless Drake come back with some bars on the next album or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you this too before you go. Ray Vaughn, just did his interview with XXL, and he said that he was talking to Dot during the battle, and Dot told him that it was cooked, and he told him it was cooked because too many people jumped in, and he said so Joey could have went easily, which he did with the 20v1. It's only one of me on the West Coast versus you 20 West Coast dudes trying to diss me and everything like that. And so that goes back to this of like, okay, it probably is over with because what's going to happen? Wayne going to diss Dot and Dot going to respond to Wayne now, like it's over with, bro. Like it's literally over. Like if anything, we just going to go back to what it was from 2013 to 2023, which was a bunch of subliminals and both of their songs. Like Dot threw some subliminals on G and X, and then Drake been throwing some subliminals in every single and album that he's done since. You know what I'm saying? On his side of things. So it just is what it's going to be like that until both of them jokers retire and stop rapping.
No, facts. No, that's for real. But I was going to say my one thing that I will say that I felt was the corniest thing of the whole thing that irritates me the most was people saying Drake is not a part of the culture. And I think that's the one thing that, because I just say realistically, bruh, I'm like, my boy he's been the soundtrack to so many functions, so many, like, it's like that's what kept him on top after all this, because he still, when you go out to a club, you still got to put in a Drake mix. It's like the DJs 9 times out of 10 are going to have a Drake mix in there. It's hard to go to a function these days that doesn't have at least one of his songs or a few of his songs playing. And I just say, like, realistically, bro, like, I understand, like, people say, like, he's a vulture of the culture of, like, he should be playing different roles and this, that, and the other. And I feel that to an extent, because he definitely does play a role in a lot of different things. But I think at the same time, it's like, bro, like, he's so ingrained. His music is so ingrained into so many things that we listen to. It's like when you think back to what are like some of the top songs of like each year, like hip hop songs from each year up until like a certain point, it's like Drake's in the top 5 of all those, So it's just like when you talk about hip hop and you say he's not a part of the culture, but then when you go back and look and listen and you pull up like what was pushing the culture forward, you're going to see him there. So how is he not a part of it? That's the thing that just irritated me about it.
I think Started From the Bottom is a quintessential rap track. Like just how Tyler, the creator, went on that whole rant in 2020. You remember he went on that rant on Twitter how We Paid by Lil Baby and 42 Dugg was the quintessential hip hop track, a song ever and stuff like that. That's the same thing as Started From the Bottom. And the thing is, it's like I felt like Drake, like you said, you alluded to it, he did it to himself. Like when you go down to Jamaica and all of a sudden you come back with one dance and come back with Wizkid and like when you do all that, bro, like you did that to yourself, bro. Like you could have, you know what I'm saying? But this is obviously why he's lasted this long and stuff like that. But it's like you took from other cultures and other people to do that, and it's like it's a two-way street. If he didn't do that, Drake would have been, you know what I'm saying, left in 2012. However, you know, he's still relevant now because he did take from other folks
But I
around the world.
think he also brought those. I think that's the other thing about it is like he brings light to different cultures as well. Just like with One Dance, that paved the way for Wizkid and the whole Afrobeats movement to really make his way into America. It's like that was the moment that opened it up. Like if you can tell me another moment outside of that, then you know, tell me. But I'm like, that was the moment.
I was just about to say he could have kept that.
I mean, so like you may feel that way, but as I said, it opened it up for America to it ease people into that. When you start listening to certain sounds and you start feeling like, all right, I like this song. You know, maybe I'll listen to another one, you know. And I think Burna Boy has been a direct and honestly, and that's why I say there's a lot of people that still mess with him that is from those cultures. You know, and that goes into when we had the Wayne conversation. And you know, and I was like, I feel like the public be mad with Drake about things that the people who actually was affected by it, they don't mind it. You know, they appreciate it, you know? Because I'm pretty sure if you ask Wizkid, how does he feel about Drake bringing that stuff to America and doing the One Dance song and everything? Because it's like Wizkid is on that song, but I don't even know how. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like when you listen to that song, you
hear Rihanna and Drake.
Yeah,
Rihanna's on that when she sing that Fiesta. Who's that?
That is that's another.
What song is Rihanna on with Drake?
Too Good. I'm too good for you. I'm way too good to you.
I thought she was on One Dance.
It's the same album, I think.
Oh, because she was on the dang Bryson Tiller joint with DJ Khaled.
Yeah,
the same year. It was the same year.
Nah, facts. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like, you know, people like that, and then even with, as I said, his contributions to, you know, and lastly, I'll say I understand Drake to a different extent at times that he makes music that he gets inspired by. And I, as a person who makes music, you know, maybe not to that level at this point, but it's like I make music consistently and I get inspired by a lot of different stuff. And you can attest to like, I make a lot of different music, you know, and there's a lot of people that will feel like I'm stepping into lanes that I have no business in. Like, you know, with like the country, like the rock song that I made, like stuff like that, where I am a traditional like rapper, but it's like I got inspired by country. I listened to the Shabuzi album. I say, you know what? I want to make a country song. And I did it, you know? And it's like other types of music that I've made that it just came from genuinely like, I like the sound and the feel of this song right now, you know? And I want to bring my version of that to life. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. You know, that's like even with Yachty, you know, Yachty going into the whole, like, I guess, alternative rock lane. It's like, it's like, was he taken from that culture or was he just doing what he was inspired by, you know? So
I think people in the alternative space wasn't like, oh, here comes Lil Yachty, because he didn't become bigger than them in it.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. I mean,
I think the problem people have with Drake is like, say, okay, I'm gonna go back to Block Boy JP, even though Block Boy JP said shout out to Drake because he's still eating off the you know what I'm saying, those residuals and stuff like that. But say Block Boy JP come into Memphis and he get with Block Boy JP and then he starts speaking like music, I ran the music, I ran the music. And Drake does that, right? And then like he leaves And like that's the biggest thing that Block Boy JP's ever had. He'll never get anything close to that for the rest of his career. And then Drake just go off and do an album with 21 Savage. And then it's like, he go on do his, with his life. He on to his Atlanta wave. He on to his Houston wave. Drake is back on to his London drill, UK drill wave. You know what I'm saying? If you Block Boy JP stuck in Memphis and you just looking at this man like came in, dapped you up, filmed a music video talking about some music, and then left you in the dust, and you back, you know what I'm saying? You back sitting at your crib looking at the racks just dwindling. This man done moved on to Atlanta, Houston, UK drill. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you will feel away, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's the difference between Yachty going into alternative. Yachty went with Faye Webster, did a song with Faye Webster, did a whole alternative rock album, and like he didn't become bigger than Faye Webster in that space. He didn't become bigger than whoever else he was working with in that space. I'm just shouting out Faye because she off of records in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
He also didn't make better music than none of them.
Like exactly. Like it just wasn't. I mean, I do like. I always got to say, I do like. I want to be where you are. Drive Me Crazy. That's the name of the song. I like that song.
The song's only good because of the first verse. Right. And funny that you bring that up because I was actually listening to that song earlier, and that's what my first thought was. Like, actually, I was going to mention that. Like, because I was like listening to the song, I was like, after that first verse and that first hook, it just kind of goes down,
I like the ending rap verse where he's like, "Mama tripping now, I'm never simping. It on my head." Like I was like, I like the little bounce. Like, right. It's a nice little groove.
Nah, but but I think, as I said, people pick and choose because just like Beyonce is just stepping into whatever lane she feels. And, people say, she's from Texas. So she made the country album. That's not far from her roots. Okay. But the house music, like you can't tell me that's her roots.
No, but gay people there were some gay people that was a bit offended by Beyonce doing a house joint.
No, and that's why I say some people are going to be offended. There's going to be people like everybody. You're not going to please everybody, but that's why I say it's just. I think with Drake being not only be able to step into any lane that he wants, he makes good music in every lane that he goes into. So I think that's what irritates people because it's like, dang, how is he good at this too? And it just, I think that's where the irritation comes from. Because as I said, like people pick and choose with Beyonce, the same people that will sit here and get mad at Drake for appropriating, they're not going to say nothing about Beyonce. And then allegedly her next album is supposed to be a rock album. From what I heard. It was
also, all of these genres of Beyonce are American though.
I feel that. I mean, hey, my boy get inspired. He want to do a couple songs. And not like he doing whole reggae albums. Like then I'll be like, all right, bro, what are we doing?
Another thing was, bro, when Buddy came out. And I know this Puerto Rico. Shout out Puerto Rico, the American territory, yes, sir. When that joker came out that house and talking about some yo quiero tiro ito motosi, I said, all right, bro, gosh, leave, dog. Like you doing a lot right now, brother.
I will say, Drake in the Spanish wave. That's the one I'm like, bro, you could have left some of that alone. That's where I really felt like, bro, you should have left that alone. Like, I don't even know why you keep trying to get in this bag. Like, he got that Bad Bunny song on his last album, on For All the Dogs. Probably the worst song on there. Like, one of his worst songs he's ever released. Because it was just like, bro, like, what are you doing here?
Go ahead.
But as I said, I feel you. Do you think Bad Bunny gonna bring out Drake?
No chance. Because Drake won't agree to go out. Like Drake is like boycotting America right now.
He not boycotting America. He coming back.
Well, when was his first American show?
He probably released it after he released the album.
That's what I'm saying, bro. it done been a whole year. He already done did the love songs, sexy songs.
Yeah, I mean,
Every show been overseas, bro.
but you know, a lot of those places he never performed at ever. So that's why it's like, I didn't, once I found that out, that was a different perspective on it too. Because at first I felt like, oh, you going over here because it's like, all right, I'm going to just stay away from America right now because I ain't rocking with how y'all treat me, you know? But then also realizing that a lot of the places that he's performing, he's never performed ever. Then it's like, okay, this is actually like, I think it's a mix of both where it's like, let me go and now start checking off other stuff. You know, it's like, let me go, like, let me appeal to, like, I'm a global artist, you know, realistically, I'm a global artist. So let me actually hit the globe. Let me entertain more than just America and everything. And, but I will say the man was, I think realistically, it's like most artists would have taken breaks, you know, he don't take breaks. So that's why you look for him to
do you think he does that on purpose, or do you think he does it because he's in a bad deal?
I think that's on purpose. I think he's a workaholic. I think he's a workaholic, and I think he genuinely loves being on top. I think the idea of him falling off has kept him going. It's like, I'm not going to fall, so I'm just going to keep going, you know?
Drake used to take 2-3 year breaks. He has taken at least one.
Not 2 years. He's never taken 2 years.
Scorpion was 18, right?
Yeah.
When was the next joint? The one with the pregnant girls on it? That was 2021.
But in between that, I'm pretty sure he dropped Dark Lane demos or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, does that count? It was all the old songs. Oh, you talking about the one with the Tusi slide?
Yeah, the one with like Tusi sliding on, because that was
And,
like pandemic.
and the From Florida with Love.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years.
And I'm pretty sure in between that, like, I say he doesn't take break because he still drops music. It's like you're not finna not hear nothing from him, you know? I can't think of a time when it's just like he hasn't dropped some type of song, did some type of feature that went up, or, you know, so.
Yeah, because he came out 09, 2010, 2011, Take Care. 2013, Nothing Was the Same. 2015, Reading This Is Too Late, and the feature joint. 16, I don't think unless one of those feature joints, the feature joint was 2016. 2017, 2016 was Views, maybe. 2017 was the little playlist with the Portland song. 2018 was Scorpion, and then the demo Dark Lanes, and then the Pregnant Girls. What's that one called? What's it called? Dropped the same day as Donda. Certified Lover Boy. Then the Savage joint. But it felt like after Certified Lover Boy, he was just dropping nonstop. Like, it felt like it was louder than, like, it was just like, dang, he dropping back to back to back. Because I guess that's when he started doing multiple albums a year.
No, facts. Because, yeah, like, I'm looking at it now. So he dropped, let's say, Views 2016. And then from Views, he dropped More Life in 2017. In 2018, he dropped the 2018 was Scorpion. Then after Scorpion was 2018 was Scorpion. 2019 was Care Package. That was the compilation of all the old songs. And then from there, he dropped the Dark Lane demo, which was 2020. And then 2021, he dropped Certified Lover Boy. Then it was Honestly Nevermind. Yeah. So, yeah. Oh.
Man, he just But he got to a point after Certified Lover Boy that was just like, bro, shut up. Like, and I never felt that way with like Drake. It always felt like he was always out there with a big hit or something like that. But like, it seemed like the just of the albums was just see it like I wasn't tripping though. Look at this: 2009, 2010, 2011, 13, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, 25. Oh, Iceman hasn't come out yet, but yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's why I say but even those years that he didn't drop an album, he had like crazy singles like that between 2013, 2015, 2014 were probably arguably his biggest year.
Yeah, he has 0 to 100.
Yes. So, and that's when the song with Fetty Wap came out.
No, that was 2015.
You sure?
14 was 2 on. 14 was 2 on and 0 to 100.
Okay. But regardless, like, those songs were still pretty big, and then I think, didn't Pop That come out that year?
Pop That was 2012. 2014 was Tuesday. 2014 was Tuesday. 2014 was 0 to 100. 2014 was 2 on. 2014 was Who Do You Love? Those are 4 major records.
Right. No, facts.
It's probably another one too that I'm forgetting from 2014, but those are 4 big ones from 2014 I can think of off top.
But I think, his consistency, that's why it seems like, oh man, he hasn't performed in America. It's been so long, but it's just like, it's because he's always on tour. He's always, and I will say him, some people feel like, it's like, oh, him constantly being around and been bad. But I think at the same time, that's why also I say the whole thing about him being ingrained in the culture, because realistically, I think if he wasn't around, there would be a gap in certain things. I don't know. As I said, just with like party and clubs and people who like that enjoyed like being outside, there will be a gap in the music with that. And I feel like even this year, it kind of felt like, that's why everybody's like, man, what's the song of the summer? I think Win Whammy, I think, that was up there for one of the songs of the summer. And there's a couple other songs, and I think Sexy Red and all that, like, they definitely put in where there's some good music. But I think, like, even though people say Drake don't have no substance, he got more substance than that. Than a lot of those like Sexy Red songs. I think Glorilla has a decent amount of substance, but still, like, is she talking about something that's better than what Drake be talking about when y'all be saying that he don't have no substance behind what he's saying? And I think it
but no one's like Glorilla or Kendrick.
No, but and that's what I was going to get to. I think with Drake, it's because of the ability that he does have that a lot of people get.
He came in the game as a backpack rapper.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's as simple as that. Like, you came in the game as a rapper. So people are still going to judge you as a rapper because you still on every project have one song where you're rapping. So it's like, you're still like, yo, I'm still a rapper at my core. This is still what I do. So people are going to judge you as a rapper. Like, that's why it's like the big 3, Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, because Drake came in as a rapper and Drake still raps and Drake still identifies as a rapper. Now, my whole thing with this the next 3 is going to be Rod Wave, Young Boy, and I don't know who the third person they be saying is, but can those dudes really be the big 3? If you know what I'm saying, if like their music is their music, like their music's kind of like edgy for the mainstream. Cole is uplifting, positive. stuff a lot of times, educated, college educated. Kendrick, you see what All Right and I Love Myself, like those are records that are safe for families and stuff like that and uplifting and black unity. And Drake, God's Plan, all the commercial TJ Maxx music, whatever Most Def said about him, music that he puts out, he has those songs that exist, Hotline Bling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Nevada is like the closest thing to that, but like that's still not as clean as like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if Rod Wave, NBA YoungBoy, and whoever is the third person they say can really take that torch because they just aren't as clean. Like I say all the time about Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson because he doesn't cuss in his music.
Right. No, facts. And I think that's a product of where, it's interesting. I think the way that people have made, excuse me, I think the way people have kind of I don't know, like they talk about Drake where it's like, oh, he's so pop now, this, that, and the other. And a lot of the artists that can rap for real, I think they're afraid to ever step into that lane to make anything that's like, that can be that clean. So there's those artists. And then there's like the hood artists like Rod Wave and YoungBoy and whatnot that where they just ain't never going to make that ever because that's just not that's just not what they do, But I think the artists, and I think that's where when we talk about like, oh, who is the people that are going to make it to that next level, and we're finding that gap where it's just like it's hard to find somebody to fill it in. I think that is partially due to how they've treated and the way that Drake receives backlash for wanting to be like get into that lane. Because I think realistically, there's a lot of people who like even Cole, with the whole let Nas down. I think that's the mindset of a lot of these rappers that really can rap. They like, I don't want to let Nas down. I don't want to let Cole down. I don't want to let, but it's just like at the same time, it's like, man, get to that next level. It doesn't take away from what you do. I think even to an extent, like Kendrick, even like when he dropped, like, cause we were talking about how I think his bigger songs are like, those very rapidy rap songs. But then like he had big songs like that. But then with Damn, I think Damn was really that breakout because that's when he did kind of go more into like, now you got a Rihanna song. You got Love with Zakari and stuff like that. I think those songs put you in that next echelon of like, bruh, this is something that is going to appeal to everybody, instead of just the people who are like, oh, like I just want to hear you with the bars, So, yeah, so I don't know. I think that's it's an interesting thing. I think that's where we're at, and I think those artists that you mentioned, they just never gonna be that, but they got the younger generation in the chokehold. As I said, I rock with Rod Wave heavy. So I think he's a great songwriter. I think he knows how to vividly display emotion through his music, And I think YoungBoy is a good artist too. I rock with him. It's just he just gets so wide in. It's like he'll have like Nevada's a solid song, even though it's like him talking about like I don't want to get high, I want to be sober with you, stuff like that, or whatever he's saying in that song, it's like little lines where it's just
I don't want my ex, I don't want no I had like you can't sing that on Disney.
Yeah, So yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting.
But I will tell you, right? Two that should have been it. And they sold the bag. I don't know if it was on purpose or whatever. Doja Cat and Lil Nas X.
I mean, Doja Cat, yes.
They were supposed to be it. They were supposed to be it. Lil Nas X self-sabotaged his way out, and Doja Cat with that devil worship and everything like that. Like Angie Martinez pressed her about it in the interview, And Doja Cat answered it, well, you know, people gonna think what they think, and da 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 da. I said, what is the answer to the question, girl? Yes or no? You worship the devil, yes or no? She ain't answered the question.
Talking about, I think about it every day.
You seen it. So you seen it. So it's like, I felt like she self-sabotaged her way out of that position. I don't know if it's because she didn't want it, or if it was just too much pressure for her, or she just wanted to be weird like she was when she was on the come up trying to get the spot she's at right now, or whatever. But I felt like she did that on purpose to not be as famous as she should have been and been in that position. And then Lil Nas X, top of the world, and had the songs that pop appeal and stuff like that. But then, you know, he started wilding out, and just is what it is, bro. So
how did you feel about Doja last album?
I haven't finished it.
Yeah, me neither.
But from what I heard, it wasn't bad. I like the fact that she, went out there and kind of, dabbled in with the 70s, 80s punk sound, pop sound and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, and that's what I was gonna get at. I feel like, man, I think Doja, I think I've said this to you, and I think I said it on the pod. I think Doja can be the next Nicki Minaj. Everybody talks about Cardi and all these other people, but when I see the next Nicki who can really hit those heights, I see Doja. And I feel like I don't see why more people don't put her in that conversation. I think Cardi is a good artist and everything, but I think it's more of an appeal of who she is, Like, yeah. I think people just like who she is. And then, like, because this last album was cool. And I think, but I don't know. I think people like what she does outside of it and her personality more. But I think Doja, like, her music to its core is like to be able to really rap and then also to really like make good pop music, It's like she has that both.
So now we got to have the real discussion here. And this goes back to just Marietta, right? Mm-hmm. Blackness and what we perceive as blackness. Because Lizzo, who's been selling out arenas for the past since, well, I mean, gay till they gotta be great. That was what 2018, 2019? She's been selling out arenas ever since that song. We never mentioned Lizzo in these spaces, and it's kind of just like a kind of assumed thing or a quiet thing of like, we don't really kind of, you know what I'm saying? We don't really claim Lizzo in the culture. Just keeping it a beam. We just keeping it a beam. We're gonna keep it a beam. We got to keep it a beam. And I feel like Doja is kind of like on that side as well, of like where people kind of push her to, even though Doja rap her behind off over Boom Bap, and she spent the whole album doing that. It's like because of the pop stuff and because of the large white fan base with the pop stuff, people write her off in terms of people of the culture.
Right.
Because Doja ain't going back and forth. And I hate the sound. This going to sound racist. I ain't even going to lie. I'm going to give the disclaimer right now. She ain't on Spaces going back and forth with JT.
Facts. No, facts. Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I think a lot of people like Cardi because it's just like, she's so unhinged, It's just, she just says the craziest stuff. And it's not even necessarily what people always feel, but they feel like, I wish I could be so just carefree, I think that's what they appreciate about her. Cause like you saw that clip of her talking about the eater thing on Call Me Daddy.
Where she was not really.
Right. She was talking about, it's just like the thing is like, a guy is never gonna leave his favorite eater, but then he never wants to cuff his favorite eater. And I want to be a wife and an eater.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like, it's like, bro, what? Like, like, what are we talking about right now?
The thing about Cardi is like, she's like Nicki Minaj, almost level famous, and she be on Spaces like venting about her husband in the middle of the day, and I'm like, but she's done it so many times that it became normalized, and it's like superstars of that level aren't supposed to be doing this, but she just, I don't know, just keeps doing it, and it's just like, okay, that's just Cardi. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing to me. It's a weird thing to me, to be honest.
No, facts. But I don't know why they don't put Lizzo and like I get that is a good point. I mean, I think Lizzo makes a lot of her music that's really Macy's Forever 21 music.
That's why she made that mixtape this summer, because I think this I don't know none of this. This is just me making up a personal thing. This is what people do on podcasts, right? I think Lizzo went over to Kai's house or Kai's Airbnb during the Mafia Don 2. She come with SZA. The whole crew, Clover, come up there. They turn up playing a bunch of SZA songs. And I'm like, why won't this man play Why Men Great Till They Gotta Be Great? Or like one of these Lizzo songs that's a big hit that you hear on the commercials. Head down, touch my nail, and you got it ready. Like, I don't listen to Lizzo, but I know them songs because those songs was huge. You know what I mean? Like, why won't Kai play these songs? And I think she kind of just got it after, especially coming back on Kai's stream, and he still won't play no Lizzo songs. I think at that point she was realizing like there's a disconnect between me and the crowd that I want. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be accepted by everybody want to be accepted by their own people. Like, that's the whole thing with going back to Drake. Like, I think to everybody, bro, we can all see like Drake doesn't care how many records he sets, how many things he does. At the end of the day, Drake just really want to be accepted by black people, bro. Like, he said it. Remember when he was like, it's black excellence, but when it's me, it's crickets though. Like, he said this like 10 years ago. He said that in the song. Like, right. He really wants to be accepted by black people, bro, because everybody want to be accepted by their own people. At the end of the day, that's just what we want. We want black acceptance, bro. Like, we could do all the successful things. So it's the same thing with Lizzo. Lizzo sell out arenas. She the biggest pop star, but like at the end of the day, she just want to be perceived as making cool music for black kids, like Ty Lil to be dancing to, bro. Like, that's right. Lizzo's goal. So what she do? She did a Win Whammy remix. It went viral, and then she made a whole mixtape of Win Whammy remixes. And people was like, "What the heck is this, Lizzo?" But it was just an attempt to connect with us.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know. I empathize with her, bro. I felt for her when she did that.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. I didn't really like the Win Whammy remix.
So to me, that was one of the better. So you're definitely not gonna like it. But she got a song with SZA and Doja Cat on it. So
okay, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I probably won't give it a listen. I'm not gonna like not even no shade or nothing, but I don't know if that one's gonna get a listen. But yeah, I mean, but I agree. You know, she made all that, you know, positive music, you know, and did what she could to get on, and now it's just like, yeah, you ain't finna get played nowhere for real, except for by, I mean, if we gonna keep it a buck, oversized white women, you know.
All right. All right. I wanted to pull up a couple more reactions to this. I was like, I might as well do my my Drake segment here on here instead of the stream. Here's Mustard's reaction. Reaction to Mustard's reaction.
I mean, hey, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, just like he said, and then he said, "Let's go Dodgers." He said, "Anyway, let's get to this game." I feel it. Shout out Mustard, bro.
Hey,
okay. I'll go ahead.
No, I'm gonna say, I mean, yeah, I figure, you know, all these people gonna feel the type of way, bro. You know, it's up for life with a lot, you know. So anytime they get to see. Oh, actually, okay. Once you're done with this, there's something I want to transition to real quick.
Okay. All right. Jay Hitta. Tell him Hitta did it. Man, who told him how to show a blitz? Tell him Hitta did it. Like, why? Dismissed. Crybaby. Oh, here it is. Tell him Hitta did it. DJ Head. DJ Head just posted the eye emojis, man. Hey. And then Jason Martin, formerly known as Problem. Why? Don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing you. Don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing you. A hit doggone holla, 9 p.m. As you guys know, 9 p.m. West Coast time is midnight. That's when new music comes out. That man said, I got a new project. Or he got a new song that's coming out. I guess it's towards Drake, bro. A hit doggone holla, Mike and Keys.
Nah, he just got a project.
Shout out Mike and Keys. That's they just produced Tony Snow's project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did like a whole West Coast type deal. Shout out Tony Snow, man. And had a music video that was kind of West Coast. That was cool. Okay. And then I wanted to bring
Chicks on your APs, looking like Weez. Haven't since